so what catch them say nyankopon no boss ni asase nyankopon nim nyema nyina odo nyankopon onhunumu obibia obabia na wo sa catch them nyankopon heaven it doesn't make sense etimi wa akora na o cancer yesi nyankopon so emaba nyankopon so yesi yenwo obabia wo wu ama akora na aka honum ye nyankopon akọ bo akora na obebra ma je obenu so obabia yesi nyankopon so ho etina se de nifa nyankopon ho no no kre wonim se ena nipa 25000 ebewu nyankopon no bo wiase no eno no nyankopon na enim no asọrefo na yesi esu nyankopon a obia yusu na adwen wo fie obia edidi a wo yusu na adwen okutwa kwa mo yusu na adwen otwika yusu na adwen na adwuma ni business sika wo yusu na adwen edru bible ma yes won fa na adwen to adentia ho na hye samra ma no ye ma me no so mo kam nsem no kore no
de o ma fam
se no mo si bre ya ha se no mo si bre so mo kan no kra kire ma no pa kire mo nyansa ko ma no bi no be ba hore we listen to some gospel songs be as it make sense and it make sense krama frum ba bia o te se me enye no kra obi no krama frum ba na me bia bi hu mre di enye no kra that fear based belief ne de to nyum ne fa no gospel
you want to talk about the God's Son TV Global. There be a very free be and there was so much bread. Na nkomo twetwe ade se won bia na nyina na de betu ana mo na bibia akoye. Remy Spices, a man of the young kind de for ye. Men must say bi bo aduane kra chema. Na o ye waduane na pese aduane ne koye. Wo enjoy aduane ne ye pa na da ne bibia. Eye Remy. Na Remy no. Enam bia wo steam enam bia wo de ye for ye de young kind na won de. Ti hwe onam no ho na to in accordance. Dia wo hwe a ebeboa. Remy Spices. Edwa BM, baby edi dwa bia. Obenya Remy ewo ho. Ebi kra de wo call supermarket ne ade abenya Remy. Nti wo kwaye aduane nko ade a Remy Spices. Mo amo akwantum yenyim free. All the African shops. 1406 Castle Hill Avenue, or Korea African Market, New York Bronx. Oba unyebi. Peklin, anti-baby. Of a Ukraine agent. Ubenyebi. Ajimano Berlin. Anafi Maryland, Hagerstown. No, Oba Pasamata, African market on Ubenya. Na, Myanmar, me Auntie Jenna, Gettysburg, Maryland. Remy, Ebwa, Menkwen William, 167 Bronzer, Enuama, Papaya Restaurant, Yachakan and Quino. Enuama, Papaya Restaurant, The Quamera Conem Disa. Biane Ned, Remy, ABB, Ken, Peaceman, Taxi, when you see Bronze, when you see JFK or Rube Coffee. And also, Dr. Nimoniwa Scientific Hospital. Yariana e hauno, oba de de niema hyen haban mu. Nhahan na ye niema ni nyina. Nti ye de hawo bia no anso amia wani na wodo ani a kire Dr. Nimo na so ye na wakoje wa haban dru. Wa yare se nyina wa haban nim. Etuni Dr. Nimoniwa Scientific Hospital. Edinkita ho a obeboa. Oye UK doctor we ni mahaban. She no so oye medical doctor. Ana osoro ede sa haban de na cha nti o ma woduru a enye osika ohwe ayaresa. Kumasi atonsu monako. Dr. Evans ewo 0244 yi fa number no. WhatsApp ebe ko ne ho. Ena regular ebe ko Dr. Evans o ho nkran. Awo ho na ede ma wani nyina. Dr. Nimoniwa Scientific Hospital. Shannon so ll3d. Obe send this card ya bro bia. The brefie dia beboa fie dia ya project bi whatever. ll3d. Promo code the Godson. That's it. The Godson. Na send an aje point bi actually bi wachire meka trel. Lems Marketplace. Car bia wo hia so obeto adem se be adwuma boat Uber whatever. One ade call adwuma o de your business bi. Hwehwe car kro. Na call YouTube na search for Lems Marketplace. Kasa eguo ni nyina hwemu de ye ofe na brajo ma abo no na won ship mara Ghana ma ebo ne fu so wa hunu we no wa ni akiri na abeto accident ka bi o Ghana ha me kasem bi antre sa aban no na de bi aban no fa scraps bi amai ona woni na ho nti bo modern na ene brajo Lems Marketplace eni nkomo na emwa ana no pay Yesuyade. He's a brother, full of knowledge. They are already a channel super. And maybe a tremananka, or common be or mente or my sentiment, no more crank come home. Just on Avram more type no. I mean, no more man super because me Jesus, me Jesus, the ending in common, and the cancer be and fan. By the time came, Yesuyade in broad. Okay, yan you almost what been try. Near her say. Almost so quiet, so quiet, dear number so more. The Yesuyade be free. Basically, he has a lot to share with us. Bro, in my kwaba. Yamin Shroud. You can't Yamin Shroud, would you?
Oh, Mijidi.
Say Yamin Shroud.
Mijidi.
Okay. So thank you, and Yamin Shroud, and Mudia here Valley.
Imubia, okay. I'm not attached to an idea.
Okay.
Nti sebia obo ha o ka nyame no kwa ntia so nyame no yese ntia na mpe bebe ntia se nti no nyame sure is fine because nyame wo ho ba nyame no yenim ni say ho na na asem no wo no nyame no yenim ni so ye adwuma say wo nipa wo he nti ho na obi be kan bia won ntia se because we say traditional in church na yese bia five bible bia nyankopon ya ni say so e be ma so ho nti no sa ho na na mama bebe ntia se nti nyame sure is okay.
Obi zimugasa obi dem ambassador Yamin Shroud dey me eno na me jitu
nti nti ase no limited but okay but still limited because okase Yamin Shroud I mean enye me na me de ma no kan nti nyankopon be hwe ahwe say we shower answer nti nyankopon hwe ma me because Yamin Shroud answer no we shower that means nyankopon be no.
So you don't believe in that?
I believe in that, but so o attach won say me pe thank you me pe Yamin Shroud no e ma say na no kire say bia can be cast Yamin Shroud and Yamin Shroud. That is the idea behind because I didn't know when you thank you.
Okay. So the issue is, brother Nchibu Esiako say, ye timika say what that sorry ni padodo ebe Shroud no impact. Say, hey, we see Yamin Shroud, and you think say any bibia rather where so ye bibi.
And I just say my bibi Yamin be share me a. O ye sure say Nyankopon twen ma wo ka kire me answer.
Okay, what of obi so yes wa bo obi dua wa kesi obi. Ojidi say ye adwuma.
No so ye adwuma.
So why is it that blessings from obi enum any impactful but curses there you believe say it works?
Okay, and yes be enye impactful.
Okay.
But say ye twen ma obi aka kire say ye feel say wa ka Yamin Shroud me bibi be see the limited perspective.
Okay.
On say it here. And no kire say Nyankopon te ho or twen ma nipa ka kire obi say Nyame nim de maye o makomam. And I bu akwa ekokoma de. Okay. When hu anya say won ka Yamin Shroud won no. Ko dem kwa mo obi we hu no. Na say wuntimi nka nti medem nyesha. Okay. Nti no. O say Nyankopon ne obi a wonim bibia.
So deeds itself no. And one and Nyankopon has
been deeds itself and na prayer no. O say ye can pie boy and ye can bia. Enye say bia wo kwakotena bia akobom pie bi na special da bi. Adwene a wo dwene de bia, de wo gidi say no krema no. E empire the strongest form of prayer no. Ti de wo ye no. De wo kan de wo gidi ma ho say no krema ho na empire no. Ontwen wo bia. Nti pa wo amafo bia bom pie bo mu so bom pie.
Okay.
Ama bom pie bia bo mu so bom pie. Nti wo twen say we go mountains, we go ba bia wo hu bom pie fifrate no. Na de ma bom pie be ma bom pie su nyina enye hwe. Because your aspect of you na e key na e man pie na ye adwuma. Nti before so mbi won kwa bom pie bebrebe. Yen so ne bom pie beba ye ni.
What are deeds?
Yeah. Ene nyema ye dwema ye ho a hu say e no kre. Unum say obu ho no ma wo wiase sisi ye. Ohunu say e be ye den pa say bia obetima nya abrabo bia na ne je ho. Oh, me de ye busu ye say ya dome ye. Me de omo say ye kwa hore kra nye ye. Me de omo say ye hwe nye ye. Nti as wa relax and what decide di e chen the other reality.
Okay.
Tsaje na wudi no.
So generational curses.
That is the strongest form of prayer. You be no bit masan. Onim de ntia because who did say e no krema. Ndu pa ko so opa ko mountains by enye ye. Because ye wudi di no. Nyankopon ti adwenem. Ti de bia ho dwene say wi ase edene. Say me de mekwa ye, omo say hu say wi say who decide di and wo de energy. Nyankopon mo bia energy. Sa energy na di create nema. Nti say wo de energy na ahye side say wo gidi a Nyankopon cannot bypass it. E bia wonim say mo ba o ti bypass it because wan gato ma ho kwan. Belief no anya adwuma adwuma na so ko bompa enya adwuma. What if you are from the BTT as well then? But over Africa, you want to
background here from Christian. Are you from the Christian background? Islamic?
Yeah. Okay. I'm from the Christian background. I used to.
Oh, so you are no more a Christian?
No, I'm not. I don't have any identity. I don't have any religion. Yes. I want to say, you know, sorry, you push your phone. A Christian from the.
You are also sorry, babe.
No Church of Christ.
Church of Christ. Okay.
Yes. Nti enu mum na ye church there say Nyankopon nyansa nti en ho na be fa so say oh Nyankopon what say nti say asori na ye kire wo nimbia afa Nyankopon ho. Nti say wuso na wo ba em say ho na be ko kakra hu say oh Nyankopon say no ya nti wo kwa a wo sua de wadwum bie no Nyankopon na nkaso so wo ho afa ono a beda ne ho de a kire wo enye so ba be gina wo say ba wonam nimdie mu hunumu no ne ma bebre de ne ma ne ma bia wate a enye no kanti sa no kakra kana wo jemi ko de ne but kakra wotimi jemi ko nti no I realize any mama catch the free more fast and yaso don kwa abrabo nyina no bododo na nye ne kwe.
So you mean religious leaders almost are changing the identity of God?
Yes.
Actually.
Yes, that's what they are doing because almost so different bi ho.
Okay.
Nti the oyo osofo no ono so different bi ho.
Omo yam from so a omo
They are not aware. Omo nhyere nim de omo ye. Omo nim say oh ye bo Nyankopon ho dawuro. Oh yesu Nyankopon yesu. That is what they know. But enye sanity. But you have to step outside the box answer. On say we gina bibi ma hu chi say ube gina chire hu say oh say netie oh say boss kwa say so say akwati. Nti we gina mu pa dia hu da. But we step outside that. And stepping outside and so that enya de bia person de wadwema because eh say we ye bone. Ibo obu akwa na bia wo ka say oh yesu na mo ni nya sanity I say we ye bone bi because ya church o say wo na baji wiase nyina nti no wo ka wan ka say wo no you judge yourself say wo ka sa wo jin say we ye bone bi Nyankopon bi kun wo ka say Nyankopon wo kwa so de wo nya Kristo ni ane na wo kwa hon ka sa because wo nya Kristo ni. That is a limited perspective but me sango fo nya me Thomas because me tuna me tsa emo de anu ma che glory trima yes no bi hu obi na say bia wo so wo nya Nyankopon ni onya say obi a won kwa so de a na me hu so e bon sa me nkasa ho kra etimeti ase so obi yes but me say a limited perspective.
Okay. So at what point and I'll discover what?
Okay. I think that is a great question. I don't even know what point crowd, but I think it started by questioning.
Questioning who?
Questioning your mama yedi.
Okay.
What I say? Sisi wo catch them say Nyankopon no boss no asase. Nyankopon nim nyema nyina odo Nyankopon. Wo hunumu wo bibia o ba bia. Na wo sa catch Nyankopon heaven. It doesn't make sense. Because the basa what Nyankopon kwa share baby back say heaven or meanwhile wo sa say Jesus o baby enye. That's yes. Right now no. We can say oh God is omnipresent. That's what baby o say I. But also God is in heaven. O ka say I. See ya catch say Nyankopon or hell say ya unso bi nyini. Because o baby the next o baby o nso ase ye no ti o ha. Ono na yem from ono e bibia. But almost I just say or sa heaven ho potia I say ho na ye yes that is a limited perspective. So ana me hwani ma bebrebe Nyankopon odo yesi sika na dwete Nyankopon nyina dia bibia ne dia but ni pa ebre what you say o ma keka ni ma bebrebe but ni pa ebre ntu hwema Nyankopon ben na wonim nyema a wonim dia o hwese ni pa mre yetimi wo akora na o cancer yesi Nyankopon so emaba Nyankopon so yesi yenwo oba bia wo wu ama akora na aka honum ye dna kwa ko bobia akora na obebra ma say obenu so oba yesi Nyankopon so ho etina say de ni fa Nyankopon ho no no kre pon nim die nim nyuma nyina nti no it started by questioning never be and I didn't even force it man should I say me
did something actually happen to you and am I obey here say the am famu here as a Church of Christ member nyame wo ho ni odi no was it like that
okay certain life experiences shape my perception enti nyame wo ho I mean there's a divine power. What I said, there's a divine power, a creative reality, you know. You want who din be who be a sa we free mobile, to me be a we free mobile. But how to me, you know. And they catch the wo, and they catch them a phone, and you know, cray. Because on what the book now by the Bible, no, and you must how to me and when him being but you know, cray. Because sao to me, no, our man war enemy, whom Yansan and Tiaseno. See, the quiet Tias, you would mind, never be make sense. But necessarily, your catcher will say that you to me, you want to mistake. Nti ya maye nyina nipa nyina feel said adwene na we yemu no enye enough nyansa ni anya papa nti wo say how this adwene question bi wo sa Bible ma wrong ho na mfonso ni free ba so o me feel say Nyankopon te baabi ene ye te baabi ene ye beto abrabom ni ye bre ne Nyankopon nam baabi sa no ba be hu no say mo bre ma meje mo ba Nyankopon no ni mu ne free by right from the outset etinim de na wo de mu no wo yemu the moment wo use wo adwene wo ka obi bi obekata ka wono tum no nya kwa control fear because let's what they hear then na many people you say ye nyansa na e woni firi na ba mfi Nyankopon efiri nfa because o share Christopher ane ya na say asorefo na ye say esu Nyankopon obia yusu na adwen wo de fie obia edidi a wo yusu na adwen okutwa kwa mo yusu na adwen otwika yusu na adwen na adwuma ni business sika wo yusu na adwen e true Bible ma yes won fa na adwen to adentia ho na share samra
Obia adwene ye adwuma wo ba
Obia
bia.
adwene ye adwuma wo ba bia. Onya duru so dem say kima. Odno fili say so de to. Efiri fa. When the cast out no kire.
I didn't know they at all.
Go de to no.
There be or they adwene ne by.
Den na to start adwene by. Because say ufa aba say we dey bo for mo bo nyankop obubu nsama. Adwene be na cast out kire. When the cast out kire.
Eye honhom ntu twa na wote ne honhom.
There be e ba say you treat bonsam to say bonsam ye nipa bi a wote bi akwada so. Ye ni me bi wote akwa bi akwa no. And I say you treat bonsam to say me hwe video bi na ebi e de ema e bo for ma. And I say just akwa. Say kan yetimi kwa sorry ye bo nutuo pay. So for New say na dey abo bonsam na ho be che ne papa. Na wa bo bonsam papa. And we have people that have 60, 70 years omo bo bonsam must way. So enti no
because people have tried that on him. Bibi na ope.
Okay.
And who say bibi na asi kwan.
Okay.
Enti na ade ne mem.
Okay.
Okwa sorry ko born nsem ye boni tuo pay ni ade wie ye oba ade ne kwan na bi. Enti onkasa aye adwuma ma no.
Obekasa aye adwuma ma no. What you say? But what the sankofo na omukobọ mpa ye fo bibi no. What the e asa akoba ko buzo say the omukopẹ na etise yankasa. Baby kro omukọ ya omukopẹ mo no. Ade kro omukopẹ ho mo no solution no. Omo san go back say when you san go for me to go back go say the na bom akwa say obeka the match so obeka no crap match obeka the match so enti de yaka tell for nyankopon ho na nyankopon no nyinipa wonam ye nyina mu na ye adwuma wonam ye nyina mu right now question ya obusa me nimde no hunu mu ade busa me de kasa no nyankopon no na ye mu a o kasa nyankopon no nyinipa wote baabi say bia wote ase yenko da bi oye sa what lebenti nyankopon why nyankopon te say ohene bia wote baabi a stationary o movie ba nyankopon ye bibia so go hu say anoma esu fie na so wotu a den na man no tu sa energy ni spark na e wodi ma animate ni ma man timi to hu aye ofe no that is God in action uko hu epo na o say ripples na e ba no wani age na abo sa energy na e kire po no say this time enye din enko no that is God uko hu dia na emframa ne e bo na shade no na we feel some comfort because how comfort now feel that feel now that is God in action.
So if that is God and you pronounce afa obi akuno
afa obi nyame na e no see God. And you see a God.
Okay.
And you see a God. No, and there's one thing. You see, sabi mo for be nim.
Okay.
Nyankopon no bo wiase no. Eno no nyankopon na enim no. How do be nim say be dem pass am for be jedi.
Obetrim.
Ye wo honhom bi e bo wiase.
Okay. Oh. Friend say.
Okay. E be friend say bonsam, na be friend say nyankopon. O dey friend say. On say Bible God no Old Testament no.
Because a sa Bible God crucify anyway.
Oh, Bible no God. Bible no nyankopon. Like Bible no omo God wo honom. And I God.
You don't believe say ono na overall. God of the universe.
Sa God no otimi ka nipa say we jealous no. That God na ni butimi for otimi ka say wonu no so abonipa. The Bible says it. Says God no Old Testament no otimi ka say na nyankopon no so abonipa. How can you say this? You are treating God as a human. To me regret it. Ye na ye ade bia ye butimi fu ye retimi ho ye nipa. So what catch me say nyankopon re ho ye. Nyankopon bufu ye a. What you are doing is what you are treating God as one of us. That is not true. Because that God is supposed to see beyond. What I say? The entire friend nyankopon say, "Oh, na ni man nyina fi ba you who say oh bibia." But the oh bibia is acting like you are. What is happening?
Okay.
So
ono so ne bufu.
Ono so butu bufu.
What's warning?
What I say me bufu na say bia me twese kan. Na say me nya abotre na say abotre na nyankopon su tie say me nya. Na fe say nyankopon ni ye bia. Dem me hwe me na me sua. What am I learning? Because nyankopon no otimi pass as me nipa tom say. The Bible says, "How Bible God na enema a wode yi nipa ne we nyina no." Oko kan Christopher say, "Oh, nyankopon bet me dope." But sa ne man nipa ya na ye jage no. Nipa bufu a, ye say enye nyankopon say me ebumfu, but nyankopon ne buofu. Enti niema ye nyankopon ne ye hwe no no, enema a o ye no ye gitum. But ye hu ye bia na ye bu ye hu atan, sa nimde ni free ba.
Okum opra
yes
osa
oye bia ba wo isia me kuma ye say nye me ko je dentia tie ho ne ye hwe nyansa ne hunhuma free dia de na wo say mitumi bi wo say mitumi kasa me jealous wo say mitumi kunipa wo say me kasa me de hu hye nipa me force nipa ma because that we Bible God now it is forcing us to believe so Yakobon na munyimi ni na munhunu say me na me say no di hu hye omumu what you say but so we God as an energy it doesn't force us to believe in it. What I say, God doesn't need to force you. Let's start this question. Why is God forcing us to believe in him?
According to the Bible.
According to the Bible, why is God forcing us? Because the Bible God is forcing us to believe in him. Yenni so na Yakobon na obi ani hobiem. Den ti na wodi say huni hye mu na se ya mu firi na chi wo se mu firi na chi koso mu se ya se ne otimi ku obi abakan. Uko Israel for ma otimi ku obi abakan, obi first one otimi ku mu nyina. Se ne buofu. What me ma oh dem out me ma mwa nya that grow dem sell no be awofu. Eno ne ade ade a. Sa Bible God na.
Anko ye humo breja no.
We humo breja.
Eno oku.
Woni nim nyema nyina nti godo ko na ke stand na ye hwe no. Ba sa Nyankopon e kunipa. E se nipa. What I say, what me ye chima, what me ye chima ni ekuma, what enkura ni ase wo mo, what mra bebrebe. Sa Nyankopon na ye kan wasem. Etu hwe a enkofo bitena ase. Ana omo create a concept of God. Say me ne wo yangindi. What I say because say ye kan book ni nko ade a o ne be. Ana won say o hwe slave trader. Abi before mo capture for be 400 years now. Na ye nim reading and write, like how to read and how to write. Ye nim. The moment they start see the first book they gave us the Bible. Yeah, shouldn't be able because they knew how to read and how to write. It can be a thing for them to capture us because they buy and penny for so no yes. Aha. Enti omo say actually how to read and write no. And almost actually the book to consume. Yeah, we didn't decide for ourselves. Did we decide for ourselves that we are choosing consciously what we want to believe? No. It was handed over to us with power, with aggression, with control, with fear. That is what happened to our people. The ancestors, that's what happened to them. They didn't decide say yatenase, ye nipa, ye diabino nyansa ye bibio, and your oppression. Why? Yes, that's how the Bible God operates. Obey or I'll kill you. Obey or hell. That is not God. And to cast in Yakuba my free will, ye the part. That is a lie. Because the moment I say jiwe, we anyway ho, name move for we are with the beton. That's no free will. That is, I say just two options. Free will is there. You can decide this and you can go. Whatever happened, what I say.
And also another day, me do one in kwa as you win him. Shemuna in your open me shall say ye papa.
Yeah, because Fire-Ewiase beto. That is not free will. That is control, disguised as freedom. Okay. That is fear, presenting itself as love. What I say, it's the ocean man. No, the Bible God, a concept. Independent that say, okay, let's do this. And before you know, say, I see our say to the ancient and we they will believe because say what you say air control. They realize how vulnerable we are on better control. And our people, our ancestors, call capture for 400 years. And what happens is some of capture your mukuya, mumma, yam penny for your bre Africa, ya brabby something. Some of introducing your company. And let's ask the question: why does God need to introduce himself to us through these people that captured us? It doesn't make sense. Counterintuitive.
But before them, ni enim erade.
Ni enim erade. Ni enim Nyankopon no. Ni enim no. What you say?
But then your quine say.
Then your quine say. Omo force me omo how they see God no. That is the problem. Ni enim Nyankopon. What you say? O hwa wi a, what you say Nyankopon na the airstream. O ko hu so Nyankopon and the airstream. They respected creation. They respected nature.
No, they are time.
They are time. Say intelligence in favor. That is God operating in different forms. What I say? Obitimi gunsa. That is also God in other forms.
But then they are some which is a yankwasiasem in the Bible.
Then it say then say
inside the home could nyame foforo bi.
Nyame foforo na obi gunsa nyame foforo ne hwan.
Bosom na wo fa ne.
Bosom ne hwan.
Hey, honhom bone.
O ka say honhom bone a den na say honhom bone.
Say bonsam ade na just say di moja ne ne ma egu so sa.
Da bi, de me kan enye moja. Aha, de me kan enye moja. Aha, nya no kra. Obitimi gu nsa, obitimi kọ ensuo mu. Na wakasa chenso nse bia, say whatever. That is so God in another form. What I say? Me interested in that. No, me interested in that. But obi ya, enye say me judge say was say and I say why say because ye kan sa Nyankopon ye kan o magina wo fie achi ni me fie achi say me say ne so me there be it is revealing itself in so many forms.
Okay.
So enti ye mpanifo no mo nim Nyankopon. No mo nim Nyankopon ho. But no mo nim ni say. And you should ask ourselves didn't you force mo that version of God here. What happened? Then a man before who say o tell no musim Nyankopon enye mo de ne nye. Na ye mo de ne ye. Ye mo de ne ye nso a mo je ye di control ye bon ye kumo. Ye di nipa fa Atlantic Ocean so no muti boat na be who and these people are telling us they know God and they introduce God to us.
But so my brother now so ABG Christo di je Bible ni di so some of the Bible suppressing. Why are they also?
It started with us. You know me say you know me experiment. What I say? Time e be hu say omu bi agi God Nyankopon dey na omo kunye bebrebe omo say bebrebe omo hia say bebrebe. So it won't be who say everything is the mind. And you have dream bibia. God lives in the mind. And if I dream that with him, no, brain. There's a reason why we have brain. it receives consciousness. Consciousness and God in action. Tell you say God a Nyankopɔn enye enipa. When you obi aka say what ha say or static na me kɔ ha say na se man kɔ kwada so na se man kɔ abu akwa na se man kɔ ayi a kasapia me hu Nyankopɔn nya sa. We ba sa ye tuti Nyankopɔn te say onipa bi a wote ba bi a ase wontimi ngo ba bi a. We are talking about God that is all powerful, all knowing. What I say the strongest force we have ever seen. E wo ba bi a but omo kire me no mi ni say o wa ha say o wa sore de wan kwa sore de ma enti obi o sisi yes wan kwa sore ko si da ohun say adechi obi we fear. Let's think about day to day ehun ne so Nyankopon. And now him say the reason why amafo ye mo say me kwa so ne kwa so me Christopher ni nyina the fear of hell. Wouldn't me say obi ya adwuma ne ka che say ebo 8 a no wa ma me yi wodi ebo 8 that's what kwa adwuma e dey ntima kwa adwuma ntem
you be in a
not because of the adwuma no e be in a dintia nti ehun ne di shim ne ma ne ba say catch yourself one so me ko bonsam dem a okwa asode a bonsam dem tuna ko not because one hu Nyankopon bi no nti they go
obeso keep it hell.
Yes.
Okay.
So we should ask the entire Nyankopon de ehun e na ye shame say ensom no. Let's ask that question. Ye nyina ye fa ya adwuma because Nyankopon ma ye nyina nyansa.
Also chro say what they asem no hinta nyansafo na obi esu a kire nkokoa. Enti say wo pese wo de wadwene na toto chro no mu a chro na me ehunu say wo a wadwene say onim nyansa bebre no kwasem no de hinta na no kura na ma ye ne a yenimu hwe no a ye be ko heaven no.
That question no say so na kan flawed. So wo ka say de onim nyansa no and ye de ade na hinta no na de onim hwe ne de ma na what does that mean? Enti e kire say ya hyira bo asem bi and ye pese bi nkwasiafo bi mu hyɛ dan hu mo ye de ma mo ye de ma wa no feel say oh menya bibia special na de onim nyansa na adwe ye adwuma na Nyankopɔn nyansa ni namu no ye ntimi control ntini ya this harvest na show say de be ya wo a wo gidi no be feel you just want to feel important, you want to feel special. Oh I'm choosing onim nyansa Nyankopɔn ye say ntino sa asem no wo de hwe say o de hinta wona onim nyansa ye ka nyansa ye de ade we are talking about divine wisdom nhunumu a eye Nyankopɔn na ankasa ye de ya ne fe ni nyansa. All says it here. What the hard here? Okay, Ewiase we nyina ma. Eni ma ho toye, e bia tisika, efie, ene sa ne money ma no. Say nipa nyansa na de ye. Eni mom na ye eni je ho. Ana nyem fesa no anytime kwasese ne tunye ye ntwa jangum. Say nipa nyansa, enye efiri Nyankopɔn ho. But obi apesika, obi apeso nya fi, obi apeso nya ka. Say nipa nyansa, sa ne ma nyam fa so ne so. Enko obi a Kristo de bia nhyɛ ne de. Ne ehunu say nipa nyansa ampa enya adwuma. But sankofo nya obi a ofia oyisu na adwene de adwuma. Kristo no be ready we actually. We ready we ye ko ofia ne business ko hwese ne nkura na wia na. Nipa nyansa na woyisu no hwana se Nyankopɔn so nko cheke odu fia ko cheke we se ne nkɔ na wia na odu fia hwese ne mana didi a school ukotwa koma hweye nipa nyansa no Nyankopɔn do you need God to tell you that? No. I didn't do how nkɔ na sifa to there is something behind it. Control dianya you dey say Nyankopɔn onim ne manyina no. Why does God need to use fear? Don't say so wo hwe bi ti say if I say government politics any oppression ye kɔchi obi na say e unlawful and I say kidnap obi a ye ka say hey one free we am you both talking. That is fear. Wouldn't say the same principle as that God needs you. That God is saying that hey, wouldn't me? That's what God is doing. Why does God need us to believe in Him? Answer. Why? Which God is that?
Me hear video and I will say Yesu namu le busa na say na ye dey na we na ni afrei. O se da bi ne ma me nya ebone ne papa nya ebone se be ya Nyankopɔn ni mo nya mbedede.
Okay.
O se won te no ase.
Definitely no ase.
Se bibi tu obi se be ya Awurade ani mo nya mbedede.
Okay.
Who's a last minute provider?
Okay. So Nyankopɔn pɔso kire se nim die ni hunu mu ni nyansa wo nyina no. The only best time I bet na show say o Nyankopɔn o tumi ni say enipa bra wo ye wo Nyankopɔn na ba se maba me ba ba bejo. What the yenhwa de sa ni man sa de Nyankopɔn ye no. Let's use it in our reality and see if it works.
Okay.
Oba Ghana ye road networks in ya kwan ye nsuo nye ebu akwa out say car bitimi say sikwam yes we ye twa mani ba wu ansa ya ba ye fro
Obi ankansa.
Oh, that's what happens in our reality.
But obi ankansa.
Obi ankansa say
ye twan so obi wu ansa na ye.
That is what happens. Any question twa obi hu but no, reflect, see through the reality for yourself. Oba Ghana car Mrs. SF ekwan na ti wo sa obo say obi ye be ba ye nipa 20 awu the next we go ye fro we wait on doom. We wait on doom. We wait on weakness. And that is what the Bible is saying. Say, yes, we go home. No, say, and you will be able to buy. Say the way Nyankopɔn ni mo nyamba daddy. Any time branch in the near fair ni mo frase. Obi any fra, a bread. Obi any fra or bread. Uhuna mane. Just a penny pebi. As I can ho. no aboa no so no mu adware ne yade saa brewe nyina nipa hu amane we nyina wo se Nyankopon say ni nyansa nyina ne say be person wo bra ko bi nsam na me chewo sem na me Nyankopon. Why is God trying to prove itself to us? Ade ne Nyankopon ye no say o bi bia say all per fans bia say de oboto o kire say yo me wo ho mu ni me. Why is God doing that? Why does God have interest in that? That isn't God.
So Oma will be a
Abra ni bole nyama wo kwa yetimi bra na enu ehu tie ba wiase. Udi nipa e ka say mu free ase o me free. Ye udi nipa e ka say mu press buttons ese ye no mo nyira. Udi nipa be mia. Yeah, bra.
Onyra.
Or he have free ase. Me kwa meko. Oh, meko. Because we've seen through what's happening here. What I say? What the reality? Oh, share Ewiase setena. What I say? Oh, the ebia wo fi akwa ni kakra to beti wati no. Oh, Ewiase setena. E free time na o ya akwa bepem samre ya. Eni je ba na ekọ. Sika ba na ekọ. Ahoto ba na ekọ. Ba yaw te hode bia. Yaw, awerɛhoɔ, pain, suffering, at hode bia. Ba sika ba na ekọ. Sani man mebe ho ato ye. Ya bra anse ne nya. Unya kwa na sa je frusem. Eje sa. We go back to before say wo na. Me sure say what is history. You see, we are said, didn't you many assassin? Who say, Yaw ya debia deviate ho. But the funny was said, Debbie, in your Nigia nas in Elco. So, in your name be me and Nigia, na yira, in na say, by Yaw, a real war, or here, a hotel, at the Hodibia. Why they making sure society and yes, sir? Why? Who's making sure that becomes a reality? Why?
Yaw be to saying and the Hodibia. Any
Any
be a free more, so a free more call.
Any power. Obu wa free more call, but they be no one done so. Boy, o mami bo ha woni ni kunu e be mo bobra nkra na susua na be me na gunu okọ wo de yaw awreho e na be hwe wo mo throughout ne nkwa na nyina wo de na ho den be bre ahuna ma na nunu hu so be wiase. What I say? Yes, owonti anigie so wo ho ma wo nya bibia anigie a be ma wo kra ni agi bibia bia woni je ho no na efi okọ akomfort mi be wiawo itimi bo utuo utimi yare bo ho ni aduane bia wo body na utimi yare hu obe plan wo. Okay, reality now, one thing is constant. Pain and suffering is always there. By nyema comfort and nyema dey ni jaban e ba na ekọ hwese de ni pesi bre se be nyika kakrenti hwade bi yawo ba wiase wo ba wiase a ewiase na nkasa eni mo de ma wo nye no kre ewiase ni mo bia de ma wo. You have to struggle to survive. Didn't I say me tonsu a didn't I say me this ka tonsu? Why should I use money to buy food? Say all loving God, He created reality we are. It needs to support. Also, if you say you're supported, oh, God wants us to come here and to provide them. But we are here. The reality is the other way around. Oh, bread and send what mountain so. Why do we have to buy water? Didn't I say tonsu? Intimacy, your system say making sure you see the bread. And then a belly lead to say, Nyankopon bo we are so you know. And you need him as Nyankopon ankasa. But no. Science a very deep, you know. I don't know if I can talk about because I'm not for just, but that is a reality. What do you
if you want to say we can go ahead.
Yes. Oh, say. Yes, Nyankopon eni nyansa o hunu mu o your dog sikane gite nya ene dia. Adentina the reality you need to see no. It is formed on pain, fear and suffering. Why is that constant everywhere? Adentia.
Before as sikane gite no be nya no.
O fa wo bre mati. O be hunu mane. Ye woni pa ebi kunipa because of bre ebi bre ye woni pa mo nu mu so mba wiase. Ye kisa we ma mo bre o wiase pa awo mu entitie mu eni pa bre be me bre be ma aba wiase a wo de na ho de nyina ni aka che se ware ye se no na ho de nyina kwa kwhyem na niema obetuma yama no na ni beje no on ye kire se wo ne je no ho hia nyemo fo wo ne je to ho ne pe obi ne fa ma no rather we are conditioned to always expend our energy on other things. It did be na say we must obi ti be na say oh that is how we should live. Obi ti be no that say you say obi na control ya adwene you say we na hu hia unya skase ya say but enima kro be fa so kwa na say kwan be fa so just million e bre. So let's the question again. Say Nyankopon or your dog or sikane jite nyina ne dia wo bia na ye wiase we ya. Dent na pain and suffering is always there. At the time the default reality isn't that oba wiase ya enso ba ho free aduane ba ho free. Enya no mom na nka be kire say Nyankopon your dog nyum nya ne dia. Enya no mom na be kire but oma condition ma you see get scarcity in live. Am have scarcity ni obre no. You say ni you getting used to am have say Nyankopon kra oh Nyankopon pe ntina ye bre no. Oh Nyankopon dey san we nyama. No, somebody is making sure that you suffer. There are people, there are people pulling the strings behind the scenes and you na strings now. That is why reality there no. What you say? They use systems, government, politics, the elite, oligarchs. There are some people who say, determine how our reality should be. Yes. You will make sure that they also. No, most of them are controlled by higher forces. Yes, they are also controlled by higher forces. It can say, I didn't say you won't pa. Reality itself and supporting it. I don't know you only baby or better.
I bet over mind be so. Yatana. Akwara be in school. Bosume so akwara aduane kakra be. Enye nyame na yewe.
Enye nyame na ye. Nipa ne hu say na reality ntia dey bit my boy.
Okay.
On say this is nti sa man na ye wo akwara yes no nipa ne hu say this is the reality or mo hu say ya only pain. That is a default or energy here.
Okay.
Then you bit my area there aboy ho. It's no go ma governmental policies and divine policies. No.
Okay.
Nipa this man say no, ye mo enkrofo no mo bre.
Okay.
So, but Ghana has this had been to Africa, ye bread. It was a reality itself, like I has an air dinner, a trap. Ya trap ye at your baba chassis. It say, home in a creative way, and you need him as Nakupon. Oh, said, the end say, you will home be a creative yeah. What this guys know as God on your Bible. Sound do creative reality on your Bible. Into reality, Nankasa, a bad boy, a media hot toy, a bed deputy say, really true God, Nakupon or Dopa, you know.
Okay.
You want that reality no. Just say who now and some escape this reality. Yes.
Okay.
It is our reincarnation we can wasem. Obia oji reincarnation di bia na say you want sababi you are being recycled here. A pain over and over. It do boy say my live with that reincarnation a suffering a brain kwa. Who want to recycle beam? Who want to recycle beam? But there's a way to escape that. It's a reality way you know. A trap me nyina. What they had also around pa. Burdens na so sorry pa me we one you know yam because so when enti ase gedi hu na ebo bra no nyankopon be na make sure say yem fa hu nyankopon be no because me no me we can think better than that idea. Yeah, we can think better than that idea. Sabi o fam kokokora na they have better platform mama hwe de yekom wonu say and nipa 25,000 ebewu and nipa 25,000 ebewu and hospitals na the whole world hospitals na your mother over 300 omunya bebu because on person will record you can check. We have over 300 women. I think 900 answer. Over 500 women. Would they be? Do you know why? Just because they want to give birth. We have over 25,000 people that die every day. You won't cry, you won't feel with him now, or bone cancer. You won't feel with him now, you will more be parasites. Didn't that is the foundation here.
Now, in free, I will phone it in
the phobia. Because someone bury us from no money Arabia, but they realize pain, no, a true sah, and pass on my sir. Nefi say, if you for no crana, then you could say, one a war. I am thinking, say, the all knowing, the all powerful, the all intelligent God, knowing himself, one or so. It may sound like crana, and I can't win you know, but it won't have a fast out pain with him. But it doesn't happen so. Let me walk, I know you're ready, nobody, you calling your baby, sir. And no much sex, I say, yeah, just had it into safe in your coupon. And yes, so because of scarcity mindset, into am I ya see now say you person because say nyankopon oh reason you and there's no reason. This reality is based on pain and suffering. That is it.
Nyame no ma, nyame no oje. Enjichere yere a senka nipa bi be ye ho bone because they are to no. Sa asam na ma me chichere ni re a ahwe obe ne ho.
A coping mechanism. Omo hunu say reality we no sanity e ya o. Ti ne mpa bibi kan chen gofo na bibi to omo a omo ka chicho mo re. A coping mechanism nyankopon kan we. God doesn't know anything about what's happening here. The true God. A coping mechanism. Shade bi ye ba wiase a ne ye ho akire ye huna mane e kom de manfo mo bre na ya ka to say nyankopon le pelesa se de be ya wo nkoku hu nkodi nwo not because nyankopon le kan say but they are controlling us into the so mpe bibi ka to ye tirima ya say ye be feel okay na ya accept say reality we no papa ba nye papa
ye ba sa so na ye sofa ye hwan fort ye ni betimi akeka ye ho na ya go beyond eno
yes
ana
okay see a bastard senior so far one thing we should know is reality we nangasa no a mistake this physical reality you know a mistake yes a cosmic mistake a bibi esi hunhun ana tumi bi kodi obi wa ni ko se kodi no and the creative way into that this physical universe na yinim no it came out of it said here owo ebia owo ma na ebia wo ma na ba kwaso wode ne na watam efie gold bi na watam efie tumi bi no de pie okwa abonten ha tumi no de be ni ma bebe a emwa into so that is how this world came about. It is how the spirit created this physical universe. No, it was based on ignorance, evil, and the default reality here is pain and suffering. It's no matter who you are, no matter how hard you try for yourself, pain will find you wherever you are.
Osoro bo onyankopon bo osoro ni asase. Ena ochiche mu, ena Adam. trend the on your man a juma man or bar. A do baby ass on the chi no so yes as so for the obey moonwe. So okay say obi ne dwane becheche ade ne atechire da nsa na obonsam na beto ye.
Anya no kre. Sa o kan Bible na in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Sa God na show no. Enye the true God. Eye honhom na make no. And omo disguise chire say God. That is why omo force religion to be angel. And you see it and you so Yakobon the boss no asase. To me there, that is the organic God. But nipa na o use to me no isn't the true God. In the what make say.
They shine say
That to me you know it me creating your man. That is God who we are now. To me wom na say what is animating this physical reality no. Any of God energy no. But who is making sure that this system works on you? This system works on you. I'm placing this here. Isn't God? Tell me my example say. It is said here. Oh yeah, now what to me now what gold be. Now we buy for gold. You realize that gold is organic. But the person using gold, no better than the creativity. You know the nipa question nipa watching by gold no more.
Okay.
Bible nature say do baby na. Sao God say me no say me bo Fire-Ewiase. Sao God he ask me no me no. Omo say omo say Nyankopon wo bia. No, enya no correct.
And some men are watching anymore aside Yesu there. Okay, so by ya nyame no nyambe dead na. Nsem be bi na wo mu a ama wo.
Oh, nsem ne bebrebe. Ebi ti say ekwan a ye fa so wo Yesu na ade.
Okay.
So abofo yi no hodi kire Joseph. Say Joseph enyere emfa Mary any Yesu enwane because Herod ever say hey. Now let's think about it. Nyankopon wo nim bibia no wa hoden ni nipa nyina firi mu ne ban. Say sa ne tia. Den te Nyankopon yi ni ho a kire nipa ba ko say wo fa kwa ne dwane. Na mo maka nyina na me say nyama na me bo mo nyanti ye mekum. Ye mekum ma. And yes, ye kum ma nyina 2 years and under below 2 years no ye kum nyina. Omo nyina. Eti den stopping Nyankopon so wo yi ni ho adi ata kire man na aka. What happened? What time Nyankopon wo choose Nyankopon all favorite people. What happened?
Uncle Herod, crown and can cry.
Won't stop in the cry. Won't stop in. Anybody who Uncle Herod, he can stop it from his mind. Yes, we are talking about all-knowing God. Saying yes, unless we're not talking about all-knowing God, because the Bible God isn't the true God.
But the Bible God we refer to an all-knowing God.
That is how we refer to it. Yes, an all-knowing God. That why is God treating us like I said? When he be and I say abamu nipa bia ni tumi limited now wo hwe ye wo nipa ho say what you want there Joseph say Joseph enye de emfa Mary ni Yesu nyane na ma na aka na uni mai uni nkra kofo bebebe na Nyankopon nim
innocent souls
na Nyankopon beto say chese ye ku nipa bebebe ansa na yetima age Yesu the system is flawed ntem ka say so what do I give for say ya hunumu ni beba. But they need to tell you that because the moment you start to use your brain, you will see through all the systems. And just say finally a man will feel guilty of even using your own intelligence.
You would not say oh bodam.
You better say oh bodam. You better say oh yes I be no. Who tell you Nyankopon? Njobu hon ma me kan so say who tell Nyankopon ye de ope. Nyankopon ye de ope they fine. Nyankopon ye hwe no. Ye fa no suban na bi nka say ye de ope. Nye hwe what will happen? It is a lie. Or hene wotimi kan kire on crowd for said mo bia entutu ni mem gumo bia entutu now you have a car now the baller what ye gukwan mu nyina say me your hintimi dey pe it doesn't make sense. Let's use our brains.
Okay.
But so they needed to find a system, a statement that more feel guilty of using your own intelligence because they know that the divine spark and the true God spark will live in us and on reveal itself through books. No, so true God no or hear book and so hear the Bible. It reveals itself through us in our thinking, in our thought, in our dreams. What you say? It's the moment that we say you should out through God, they need to find a way for you to feel guilty of yourself. You want follow system, no? Yes.
So system na say what Fire-Ewiase kakra be ko school be sua adwuma. Opeke kakra pe be man na oba bi ware no.
And who is making sure that becomes the standard? Why na chisem ra say unyina pe oba na pe be man ware no mo na me why na chisem who why very good over not because you know it to be true but because it feels familiar. At say you would say me fancy bia okọ dwabo ase what is okọ dwabo ase na say me fancy bia dwabo na se no okọ ye na because nya keka kire unti no okọ tena normal stance mo bia no betena it's because of what you know about yourself because now you deserve so okọ tena top but ya keka kire okọ ye na okọ tena to people say oh what not dey okọ tena ase one say oh because say na me deserve that I didn't want because you didn't think of yourself as deserving. Now we need that information, you know. Anything you are doing it because you were told to do so. Okay. You were taught to accept it. Your church say yenjindi. See ye be wiase no. Ye be wiase no na e kire say the boss ni asase ne ye friend say we say ya. Now can we believe that story? So anything we know, we were taught, it was passed on to us. Your church through system, through repetition. Say you're into most of my people tell about. Now never buy be or say just how worry how couldn't pass. When I say but so worry.
Okay.
I didn't ask what to I'm a bema. I didn't know when you saw a bit my your pay abo bra without bema. Why do we think say a man here mema? Now programs. Who is making sure we believe all those things? Who is making sure? What is the invisible hand behind all of this and making sure that you and I believe that?
And one thing is, unimunso say, oba wasi swa, yan tetena ma bema no. Society who say one swaba.
Very good, and that isn't a mistake. A very orchestrated, a good so society need yes for a reason.
Okay.
I say yantete Obama bema. Na society who say, oh, wait there, obo jantra on your papa ni say. It's because they wanted to control women. Number somebody who say mama to the sense of feel say without mama they are not important. Into a patriarchal system, a system a inflate a mama ego. San system ni natie. Nti na bo say wo Bible no kwa na ye fa man ye hwe yetimi kuma ye kan
man.
Yes. Nti we must say if the Bible God once again is a true God, why is he discriminating against women, against children? Now a mama na ye bibia ye kan ma a patriarchal system e nipa na hye and it is a very old civilization, a very old system. Ai wo honom. Etubo to ba wiase a be ma ko ware oba not because of person who ban as a full human being, because of be a person for ban as slave. If your message in mama no be say and yes who ban as full human being remember didn't say be who man as full human being respect to they be I can say oh I remember here respect that is a lie. Respect a human nature and yet oba be ma dia a human nature obia sika a human nature, intelligence a human nature. Ye ntwe se be ma hu nyansa nchen oba ntimo se man no kwa no omo pe be ma bi onim nyansa chen no ko odwen se be wajimi. That is programming. But it's so powerful to the sense that you wouldn't even see it. So, Obewo was saying, do you see what's happening? Okay. She believes she cannot make enough money because she is a woman. That is a limitation. Okay. That's a limitation. Because our potential, our intelligence, it isn't gender biased. But because that patriarchal system needed to make sure that a man won't see this program. But right now, they are seeing it. I think a man shall say,
but you know, feminism,
no, a hammer baby.
Feminism,
a hammer baby. I don't know the type of feminism they are practicing. Okay. But feminism, I mean, a hammer baby. Feminism, I mean, a chairman myself, mostly very intelligent. What do you say? I catch a member, say, member, leaders, and my followers. But maybe they are very intelligent. They are very intelligent. And maybe one man, they are leaders better than they can become better leaders than member. Your member one man said, "You money nyasa my baby." And member woman nyasa chair member baby. But me know me the bad things about to win there because the programming says that we should become wiser than them. We must be richer than them. We must be better than them. See one. I was saying who say it's about say bema shia or baby. That's what the nyansa or nisika. That's it. On to turn once here. Bema say oh we do a channel or what? What person control no? Obani, she knows herself. Let's frame her as Wajimi society panasem. It is a control to make her feel guilty of her own intelligence. Let's use that statement if I'm gonna say.
And they themselves, without men, who's even who's have or pikuno.
Yes, and kuna open a programmed idea.
Okay.
Now make us say programming is so powerful to the sense that one can you make it work without knowing.
Okay.
Yes. Let me example say. I didn't know about to one ma. Utimi ka say. Me de me pebemo wo sika o. Me de pebemo wo sika o. Obehweme. Why? Where is that coming from? What is the energy? The energy is that I am not enough. I cannot make enough money because I am a woman. I am weak because I am a woman. I am limited because I am a woman. And that is the program I'm talking about.
E ma bi wo sika omo ye dwuma kreska. But ono ade ya ade ama ne ho na be ma de nka ho na ha no.
Good. And you can program no. We have taught women that men are supposed to take care of them. That is a lie. Because a whole system of beliefs, distorted beliefs. Ya church and ma, it will fear, sorry them, school, society, culture, Mama Jedi say, I was a member, change na chain, was a member, a show to the Sika, to a diamond one, and it comes from
your banner, and to me, the
yes, it comes from the programming that somebody is supposed to take care of me. Why do you think so? Enter man, boss, or maybe more, one celebrity. Sure, but I'm telling me phone, my phone. As if you're supposed to clap for you to our phone. It's because it comes from the programming that a man is supposed to do it. That is a lie. That is a lie. And the church man, they are weak within themselves. They don't believe in themselves.
Why is it that if a man is able to take care of a woman, I am very happy.
Yeah.
But attending otherwise, na
Oba
yama
na hano.
or better.
Yes, and this is a programming. I want to say the programming is based on control. The underlying energy need control ni fear. Until you can and it's I say Bema sure Oba who is feel very important, very powerful. But the moment Oba no the reason is say one who share Oba na it gives you according to you who feel say I say power over Oba no. Ubetima bono. Ubetima tieti no so ubetima dey attempt. That's what happens. A control. Oba will allow that to happen because of that system now now happening. The moment Oba says or hell, you would have to respect her as a full human being.
Okay.
And the internal programming doesn't allow that. You don't want to feel like you are on the same page with a woman. That is a lie. Because we are taught to think, I said, for some reason, you are no more. The moment Oba say no, say why do you have to feel like you are important and only a I didn't tell me who said, why is it based on control? Like we follow without asking, but let's ask ourselves. Didn't know me by my what me feel say, make my control and send my bayon. It was a baby or no baby didn't want to say, hey, business, hey, was scan, no done. I didn't hear. So what she or banana who scan and you won't get well. I didn't know done because the idea is control. Who scar because when you see her on yet.
Okay.
Because and how when you see her, you're not doing because you're doing because you want to feel like you are in control. So the underlying energy is control. And yes, well, said the Abia, oh, your bema, oh, young bema, who respects your bema, or you're as powerful as you are. But with the moment you see Obano, subconsciously you feel like you are powerful. You feel there's that set of energy that makes you feel like, hey, that's me who here channel. That is the programming. What you say? That is a lie. Me, I've dealt with a lot of intelligent women. I know women. But the other hand, they say they themselves, a lot of them have been taught. Their church, they internalized belief, and that's where they ask from. They say they are weak. It is our relationship now. Even that's a one corner. Oh, some of me about me, my cross, and you show them. I mean to them. Oh, my no. Oh, my that weakness in the core. Oh, my no face on no beer. No, my co papa and papa bona, see and bassa. Or ten about catch and say, oh, I not so good combo and yashi, or papa and yashi, son, into what you're whatever you bona. Son of me, I'm crying. I mean to them.
So Ojaya Kofia and family need piano.
Yes, a passed on trauma, a passed on energy. What I say, a energy be one year passed on a man. To say, oh, my minute or bread would hear at the time, what now what Beman quite a hoko. What is in a banner? No, catch him, and yashi, so son of a yes, and son, yashi, open until we are taught to accept trauma. Women are taught to accept less, to see themselves as less. And that program is very powerful. Very, very powerful. Because before to ban no one shall active from them without knowing. To who may be a women who are only a channel. A man who they are better leaders than men. May have dealt a lot of intelligent women, so I know what I'm saying. They are better leaders than men. Let me catch all. And you know, and I'm so Beman one be one certain names and one certain who you know, who are powerful and not over there. I'm not going to Casao, and I'm not doing too much. It's because the girl knows herself.
Okay.
She wouldn't allow anything that disrespect her. She wouldn't allow anything that looks down on her because she has worked on herself. Okay. And she's expecting a man that will come and see her as a full human being, not Obadiah.
Okay.
It's a program and a year, man. You want pass one of my year, call her my year, maybe a sabi, or munya sa from chair because of control, not because you person your door man, I was saying no matter as sleeper, but because you person no matter you process some as maybe a sabi more, you almost said yepe. Aha, you know as objects. I want to say it here. Aha, it's a fear-based control. And American, we follow without even seeing through. We follow without seeing through. The catch of us said, oh, Obadi, oh, your bar, Pepema Bina on your own Tana, on your hand, Bema was sitting over said, when I can't ask them, we were taught to follow that. When I can't say Bema, when I was a Yiska, Obana is easy, we were taught.
Okay.
Say, Bema, we Yiska, not because we Yiska because you were taught to follow that pattern. Oba never Franca, you follow it. So it means that the things that we are doing, we are taught to accept it. So let's go in and find the truth for ourselves because it's within. Yes, because all meeting. Ebusuemu adwuma ni ayima oba eso no oche na adwuna yes okasa dodo oba de nanye de dodo. Okay, say the oba de kan nyansa wo ma and it's not why threatened. It's because nyansa is not supposed to come from oba. Nimdie it's not supposed to come from oba. They are programming. That's what we believe. Oba ni too no. Obo komu na or kana or
someone can nyansa.
Yes, if you buy on the bank e be jetu. E go bank time because say programs we expect them to be less. And there Yaman say they themselves, they have accepted, say, this is the reality, and they move as such. Omo kasa as such. Omo yem as such. I want to say this into Bible han what to you see what's happening? She has believed that she doesn't have the potential. What you say? The potential to even become a CEO, to become a boss, to make you pass on. Sao by what? Sao no better than mama. They become weak. They may be do almost matter. One now we know now into suffering. We will pass on suffering, sir, without knowing.
Then in this case, may I assure, sir, when it comes to cheating in marriage, sir, oba koye be abnormal. Bema koya.
It's accepted.
Bema dia sa.
You can program no be. Yes, once I say program your control. You can controller. Control nature say even if it doesn't benefit Obana, let's do it because we are men. Nti bema to nsa no bo ba ha na ha ho na wo feel so bema mama bo me yire no. What you say? O person yire nsa e de sabi e bia nima wonim ne hunti wonim say no say ba betena no say panacho. This is what we expect our women to do. All of us. Nti toxic masculinity disguised as wisdom. And when there say yempanifu anko omo nyina anka sabi o say nka nyansa ne hunumu from omba no. That is their pattern. Some of the yire no. It is on which you no more can be actually. That's what they say.
Can we change the narrative?
Yeah, we can change the narrative, and it is changing. It has actually started. What I say, it's a very subtle because programming is very deep. And men, I've dealt with a lot of intelligent women.
Okay.
See, I know the women that I deal with, or more friends, the people that I talk to, the people that can be a project be. All of them, they are becoming aware. And I'm not doing commercial.
So meaning say man no be brave. Discover. They don't know themselves.
They don't know themselves. They don't know themselves. What I say, and a program and man can have my members say, hey, what I had there, Bema baby, yes, yeah. I catch Bema say, it told her a Bema book. What I say, Bema the owner, so you see, Bema, yes, until you will spend the rest.
Bema and more.
I say, because me, I do no more. Sir, I didn't mean my brain because me Bema. Who said that?
Bema the owner at the same crime, say I was on.
And I'm a chair, and a program who's almost a why I can't ask who is making sure. Why no authority what said the Bema? Why no authority what said the Bema? Why? Inherited beliefs. We inherited it from our systems, our family.
So oba sisuna when you know tene ma me fie na on see dan ya ne ni asem on drive ya ne ni asem but Bema oda so te papa na ma me fie at a certain age you know a problem.
I didn't know any Bema no problem. Let's ask why. Didn't ya?
If you say no ko bone bra.
Oba ne te no ko bone bra enye. I didn't ya get to some oba.
I will say a train will be fan no.
Good. That is a fear-based thing I'm talking about. Sebema no kwayena say powerful dia. Why are we not transferring the same powerful energy to Oba? Say let us know that if you do this powerful, so take the same path. Say nyansa wo mu say Obama ete no ho no ko bone bra. And nyansa wo mu say Oba so kwaye. But because e fear anything no, let's go and get something. Let's come and control them.
Okay.
So the reason why yen can't man is fear-based. But Oba I said they make sense biama. Oh Bema you see, but who here chira the energy is fear-based. Say nyansa wo mu say Bema. Say nyansa wo mu say Bema okobo bra because that's also nya before one. And the same thing, nyansa wo mu Oba. But the idea is let's keep them small. Let's go and get something and make them feel stupid and make them feel like I said they are at our mercy. Just say so the women are not empowered to know that it is also possible because intelligence, wisdom, and its opportunities. It is not gender biased. It's not gender based. It doesn't care about so be or bansa bema.
Yes, I say na yeka. Cause the power baby na ye ne ho ade. Na ne wona mo nchichira busua. Ti one ona be two ana mo no. Owi ana be ye ne ho ade. So sanye nhihye ya e wo ho a. Why say bema na be kwa koye oba ne ho ade. O de na benefit apa baby ama na tena hwe na setenam. Ama bibia oma ware omo wo a bills whatever akola na he.
Na bema na fa. You must say what was the reasoning behind? Den na tell chira ngasa. And you say oma ya tinti ebio. Di ntina your can as no kan. What is the reasoning behind your can say bema to bema na ye no ho ade. Na you say what was the reasoning behind?
Obey fie ntutu ya ma fie be ya.
What was the reasoning behind? Den na wachire. I've been putting wachire na ade. I don't be out to the anything about your baby out for den na wachire.
E ma wudi mu. Me de omo ka kire me na
say. E ma hwan di mu.
Obey man wudi mu. O ya complete.
How?
Oba kan ho a. E ma wani da ho. O toto ne ma ye bibia o dwene say oba ne nkora ho chintu ya hwe yi.
Anya no kre. Look at what they had it be. Let's look at our reality. Yen hwe mema awo any ma wo madwane gya wo. They all went with the same idea. Oh, my show. But yo, remember baby, I need my work done a job. To say that was the reason now. What happened? And I'm talking about a large number. Look at our society. Which young man or man? Look at our society. It is said, yeah, can you cry? Let's look at our men. What are they doing? Meaning, say, wouldn't the making. Say, if that is the reason now, Dintina sadness. I don't know, we're going to job.
And your bar fesse on a bear ma no mojai, and can you bear man so per se, or no bar war no jam? Why pay?
Why pay? Very good. Say, no, Banner Bemba, who is making sure that that happens? If you're core with the idea that I want to be complete, someone now you're fully complete. But what it's your baby to say you them. What is happening? And you control. But it is this guys as wisdom. A party starts in the womb by control behind it. Because the reality reflects something different from your culture. Very different. A control. A control. What you say? A control. A control. Because in the long run, I say, Yabibi ne feel important. The most of them are no buy cancer. That's a bear man, maybe as some can Yansen and a bear control Obana. Obana Casas, I said, the other even was a come to Pecasado, Bob Shemino, a asking your Obana come from the right for the freedom. But Beman was also a threat because Beman, if you say, any question one name a challenge, by any challenge. But I know my church, that's how we feel about it.
Bearman, what? Yes, but Oba and Oba, a friendly bonini, now I use soon.
Tell me, just say, don't say the okay, a quitty man. Don't say the okay,
but in reality, so. I caught like yeah
to feel that way.
Do bananko one can normal.
One way normal.
Ll3d
normal. When I saw baby, I said, what's all? Ll3d now say, I was all one. Where did they come from?
Monorin Shasa, I see so.
I know you've been a kind. I don't know, it's a young boy kind. Says I'm saying young boy kind.
Well, then only one.
But me no me do I can anymore. And I only the reality reflects something different. Say, young boy kind say, Monwo, no one shot as so ma. Your baby, wow, what's mama? I mean, any fry. But say, and name no can say, your man 900 500 because of our
Uber.
Yes, will be either say we not complicated and will be on body quite me say. So when anybody back, but Brennan Conina or what after the Negan, to have what in a holding night, Aquanosa, when your time a man home, and my head your pet, I didn't need home. Not holding in a half a bit when Yeska, after not their cry. Ya will know 15 years now. I was never heard you, mamma. Then I pass it on here because I'm what in this one. Don't know so you never heard you. So I passed on trauma. To what's a mamma, wow, 4 or 5, Bemen. What now, who didn't Bremen Yansen, Prana, what bread when your time a man home went when you're women yes and find show one because we are taught that we shouldn't love ourselves. Obey yourself for some reason, go and conquer for some moment. We are saying, any moment make sense. But I won't about who do seek a show on us what's now year the only make it sense. And you to confront Kophobia, wouldn't more I won't by force, Konoko Dom from a bra, Udoma. Now do a more than music and a fashion, no what's nasty. Tiama Memono. Both 4 5 no, not your much less. Tiafa was a penny Bob Brandon said, "On worry no Obino." And I was young, baby ma. The mother is trying to pass on the trauma to her friend without knowing. Because Mamma, look at without knowing. Just I was not your baby, but I was super brave. After no, because I shall say, because maybe I was going to know about a damn Obianis was here. What I say, but you force a pass on man without knowing. Tell us, I was here and Mamma was a question, oh, never 4 or 5 plus Mamma. Aha, Papa Nino. Chacosinas car also chimney deba. Chacosin to intimate focusing. We're having a Mamma time, no, when your time. One here, I'm fan a hoarding, and fan show one on. And not hoarding now went when your time 100 man yes get winning. Chacosia hoarding, and the behavior, a weakness, but a bar as in Yansom ocean growth, but a weakness. But what happened to our mothers? The time in our true programming, and your member no more in Mujana. To Mujana, just a word one hoarding, what time until what surround a pa. I want to tell when you show, but papa. Tia mamma no more so baby as a woman cat. Yes, woman cat. Yes, woman cat. So kind of credit some Yansan at on my market, man, Pino boundary, boundary. No, Crescent, some kind of credit.
Said the Awari moon,
Say, man, yeah, my memono, some come in some no creno,
the Oma film,
said, Missy Bray, ya. Ah, said, Missy Bray, some kind of crash and man patch, some Yansan, called man, Pino boundary. In the long run, you will end up expending your energy or more the best ship will be, and why? And now
baby near happy because of Enquara. Maybe I'll be sorry, I know, pa, by young Caribbean, by your way, it's on no time money.
When your time, man, okay. Want me when your man, working man, want to go and make crana, and may I'm a week when I'm in Pencrow. But my baby, want to go and transfer me when I'm a Pencrow, or be a control, and even who said, I didn't.
So we don't even discover what makes us happy.
Yes, we don't know. Once you find know that, you have to know who you are. And knowing who you are, it goes beyond power.
But who can say more? One you say, okay, so who go school na ucha obey happy. Ucha na unya juma ya obey happy. Okay, say unya juma na unya good salary. Say nya koye fufro unya we ya offer na ye obey happy. Unya happy da. Okay, then build a house. Obey be obe toffee, ube nya wo car dem.
Unya happy. You see one another thing.
Obe
very good.
Ma beba you won't be happy till
you
then.
will never. It is hard you make say we yarn when a construct to keep you addicted to the system. Let me catch yes, let me catch say. Let me catch say ni je ba na eko. Ahoto ba na eko. Ede ba na eko. Ba yawo abrefo adwendwen e to de bia. Who is making sure that is the system?
Obi happy that until say owo baby. E ba na wi na ni je
nyina. E jini enough ni sem
business bi ode ne nsa kokan.
Agena ho ode nyina. And what will fliss us one year as we nipa as a for judgment, Timina the intino. I say, Obi, let baby now, all dictating how we should think, how we should see things, what we should believe, and ultimately what we should do with our energy. Obi, I don't know.
Obi, to me, I know what I say, doctor say, Kwame despite, and our doctor could and I could talk heavy. No, not to baby say, I don't want far more here because what the boy here.
Also, you see, almost I don't know. I say the same thing. Your jet to society. It's like we pass on our beliefs. And that is our problem. In terms of you know, abusua any sorry religion. I can't amount for into boys. I saw the video by here. Oh, someone who heritage. Now, go on and say, Yamina Henipa, and Yamina Henipa, and Yamina Henipa could see. And you know, correct that.
Then your moment need your mad chong.
Oh, you say, what's I say? And nobody a hospital.
And no hospital.
And no hospital. Who just can't have those and no. The bush of first or cock on by no. And then nipa and I walk or cancer. Nyame ben can once.
Also 1+1. I jetum say 2. E you be na actually intini jetum be quite in a year.
Yes. And yes, 1+1 is wrong. But I was teaching about identification. On say we your friend say
watch. Okay.
Good. So we can say for we okra. Can offer we say
okra.
On say okra make sense because you anchor us. Nti wo frɛ okra na say it make sense. But you start from okra, we think oh na okra na boss say. That's what we will say. It means whatever we know, we were taught to accept it. We were conditioned to accept it. Wait, your friend eche. So you get friend kruwa, kasami get free kruwa. It means that near minim and the me say minima ye kire no. Obi and they pass on my say we say you will say. So what have I found out for myself? There na me ankasa me I say it here. Yes. To see say the world is a globe around. Do we know or we were taught to accept it like that?
We were taught.
Very good. Your group of people so must say the world is flat. Must say what near flat. I say it here. Very good. Your free microphone. It's because you and I were taught to label this as microphone. Make come say, that's not a microphone. Now we must say when your microphone now. Remember you are saying it because you were taught to name it like that. Through conditioning, through repetition, school, books, history, movies, conditioning. Let's condition them to think this way. It was a Ghanaian movie na. Oh, ha pium na sama ya pie. O da pium na hu ya ba besi so. Mama for Guinea say sa na reality na ere etie. O hwe movies a ye depict Jesus as be ma bia o ya white. Eti ne nyina na. Mama for actor Jesus picture about them a that white one. We just say Jesus why? They were conditioned to think that way. Everything is conditioning.
Okay.
Yes, your friend of familiarity. Even if it is not the truth, because it is familiar. I say, I bet something that you have familiarized yourself with for so many years, you begin to think of it as a truth.
So does that fall under self-sabotage?
Self-sabotage, yes. Nina self-sabotage. Shadi bi say wo fie na say wo maame ebusua no unuan mo wo nyina ka say I say you akura ba ko bi I say bia no bia no ho hye da nye fesa e bia bibi wo no ho. Yes say oh we dey wason we dey ho bon we dey ho ese we dey wabo okosku yes wabon na say ya label no say the child will begin to think negative about himself say on go share you bia good it will drop on tin because akwode wa jimi o ontimi nka hwe why because it has been conditioned said that is a reality to do we be na say ye kunu kwana ohun say normal but say akwode bo fie no papa mu no so very important mo bia need watem empene what you say wo ba be achu ba be empene na papa ni tuti akwa no o kire nyuma no o ba akwa nta the moment o share am na say dinner time The Aquani won't accept because the self-image doesn't accept that this can be used to describe me.
So
The conditioning.
You bet me programming your man Abraham follow the educational system and that. Am I okay now?
Am I
Sakurano or say uncle credit or say nursery. Can we ostracize that?
Yeah, it can happen. Because let's look at it. What is the goal for going through education? To be able to read and write, Asa. That is it. Forget about courses. It's to be able to read and write, Asa, and to speak, Asa. And if me, why do I have to take him there? Because you end up being programmed. You end up being programmed. And in my free school pie is to be able to read and write and to train the brain how to, that cognitive process. Asa, not signing much should I say because me just sure say Nima will go school. I will see you. Nima baby, say size man. You know how they bob brass me. And Nima a man's life is just substantial. It has nothing to do with that. But your ability to read, speak, and write, that is what you are using in other fields. That's what's happening. And yes, say no. In terms of a program, somebody, there's an invisible hand behind our reality. And making sure that this is what the people should see. Let them believe this. Let them think this way. Let them think this is possible. Let them think this is not normal. Let us shame women for doing this. Let us shame these people for doing this. Your programs, systems, systemic.
Okay.
Systemic and very powerful to the sense that all of us will start to believe that is how reality should be. San Abrabotie.
Abrabotie are okay. They say okrume. Your youth ni be him say when two kwan won timi nye. Onye okobru ni asase so a akode na ma besesa. And your nipa be abusa ne say if we give you 200,000 Ghana cedis to set up a business in Ghana here, and as the same 200,000 Ghana cedis, yeah, they shall come to one more, even without papers. Baby, never prefer going, traveling outside.
Once a part of it is conditioning. The time say, once you actually say, Brunia says, into once a year cry before corner, you didn't cry any pet. I didn't know of doing a cadian, the FIFA, because I didn't have a
phone near and you didn't count.
A bad this Bruni, wow, Bruni was infinite to boys. What is that? Like crazy? What are you talking about? But it's very easy to see why we lost our sense of self. Programming age said, baby, Papa behind me through Mumma. So one you should Bruni, baby, Papa behind me through Mumma. What I said, be peanut butter from Mumma because I know I never be using from a phone ever. That I said, never be using from a phone ever. Very good. And this system no will end up making you believe that they are superhumans. So,
but without them, can survive, Papa?
Yes, because without them, no. A chance, it was them.
Okay, on one I mean.
Yes. Say, a chance, it was them. And you end up following them. In Japanese, finding out, Japanese, I say, some of us have never chance for without cognitive process.
Near you were aware.
You live,
Timmy Livia, yeah, okay.
Yes.
Mekai say, and I'm to me the bomb, you know, kaboom. Nah, soldier.
Yes, they had that intelligence there. A lot of ways to deliver.
Omuti.
Yes.
Would you wine and near me?
Baby.
I don't buy
I don't buy on the say. Papa. And on yesterday. O man yet through say it was through fear and control. Because no said you need to see some house from mankind. Or say it a giant a show to say I'm out done through it was through oppression. And yes, I know to didn't go you. Definitely I can bear you. They say it was so I was say you was sanity. It was through oppression for 400 good years. 400 years. You're talking about 400 years. Why you be who you are saying? Why not try to do 400 years? This is what our people went through. The foundation I get baby, we didn't get it. And yesterday, what I said, they successfully programmed to the sense that even if one of our people, that's how powerful the programming is. That's how powerful say one of us said, no, we have been conditioned. This isn't it. Because if you ask about sanity, me some conversation. Conversation one. What was anyway? If you ask sanity, we have an apple that person just saying no correct. And just some just saying an apple. But some just say, wouldn't be an apple. You were conditioned to think that way. Because me son friend did. I also call it apple. I also call this watch. But we want to understand why we call it watch. If we were taught something different, then we came from watch. It means whatever we know, the meaning we even derive from life. We are taught to. Very good. Who can say we said Bema warrior and that's what back and one. He is seen as complete. That is meaning. That meaning, no, who gave it to us? We were taught to derive that meaning from it. Oba, Oba multifia, frifie, the meaning that we derive from it, it was passed on to us. We were taught to derive that. We were taught to think that way, to see it that way. Everything we have, the meaning and the piano, we were taught.
Obi betumi a live life a no pay. Ama society accept it. Lifestyle no pay. Or live in a jungle. Okay. Or me see more than be.
Now, I know people like that.
Are they recognized?
Yes, that is it. So the system, because the system would have to find a way to label anybody that lives outside the system as bad, as this. You will label them bad. That's
so with all the knowledge, our comprising, I could see them. Because at the end of the day, the honor person will live it for himself or herself. No? Society no cry.
It said the kind of no crap. I don't know the year Kenya. What could you say? The neighbor who are yeah Kenya. What can we do differently? That is it. Very, very important. They say the kind of a quite day. The day they say, "Oh, shall say we live this way. You will lose all of them."
Okay.
Yes. Uno ma maybe nyasem. Ono papa nyasem. Ono na obi omo one from. I bet come one. Te kwan more ya. But that is the way. Yes. But that is the way.
Many Avram I didn't commercial be brave. Said they are originating San and Avram be machine in community. Now you could see say on how I say will be in crop when you know. No trainer.
Yes, on show. And yes, on show. And the reason why I want you is on purpose. Yes, and yet by mistake. When it's a mistake, there will be some purpose. I would say the system needs to do something to make you feel like what you're doing isn't right.
There be a couple na or cassette here. No, yes, so nama I want to number.
There be oh.
Yes, you are cassette.
And you say, who be divine being there be, say, your home be, and they make you send a watcher, there be. No one I ever train on. Again, crop for a ban on Cofona with Nemo Monco for a person ban on. Be a ban and say, let's sabotage this guy. And young tree who fino. So, Tia who fino, maybe I thought I'd be a watch on Yamwa. Why not find a friend? Why not get to say, why not tell you all your nazi? Oh, could be a work because oh, sorry, I was say, was yes, so much.
Cause I they all can no more.
What you say? It's a more system more, but that is the way to liberation. That is the only way to liberate yourself from all the system. And eventually, it will get to a point where but said system you also get to a point where you find a community of people because people are starting to wake up. So also find a community of people that think like you are, that you can support yourself. Sanity. The only way, you know. But that should be the only way. Because any other way is just programs.
Almost the okay. Obi empire ne say. Okay, can't say no. Baby be ye
no say very good. And no let's see through that only akona. And then I will not go on all loving our bibiana. Oh, can say be to me. And say na one who say powerful. Why are you expecting God? Why to show his glory through doom, pain, and suffering? Why? It tells the programming.
Say me a Christian in our back coming. I was said
the bomb pay be told. Why? Why is that the only way? It tells the programming they receive there. It tells them where they're operating from, and it tells them what they know about the God, and it tells them who that God is.
So we'll be a Christian, you know, be a fan, and you'll be enough for going. So I saw they embrace them. No be the chain rest. Jaime Radi. Radi na be connect who come. Said there's others 14 no can you know. You come na make one. Then am I lose CBB? And as a Christian, will be a count must you retaliate?
According to most systems, and you can retaliate because we are talking about an all-knowing God that knew that this was even happening. This was even coming.
Okay, so be the bonnet,
but your international call save you. According to this, but the reality shows something different. What I say? What did you call court to know? And your bonnet? No, your bonnet. Sir, Obia, what did you call court? And your bonnet cry.
But when we see pastors, how many are some police station and
yes, it's because what the pastors are saying, you know, and what they are doing, you know, it contradicts.
They are going contrary to what
yes, because you are telling us God knows everything, God will take care of everything. Oh, catch you, sorry, my oh, yashi, yamebe, you want more man until or you some good name Paunshia, and I said Nisunya Hunsha be busy. A drew the so they are what saying contradiction.
Okay,
but what they call court, normal, very normal. But because what they know doesn't come from the truth, you know, I say a down more demand say, oh no, this isn't real. What I say, what did you call the but because of what they preach and what they sell, what they sell to the people, you know, when they do something outside of that box, I say, no, this is control. Instead, because religion is like a cult. I said, in any cult, there's a master that you can't question. Sign of religion here. There is God that you can't question. There's a pastor that you can't question. And one thing is, the moment you cannot question something, it is not the truth.
Okay.
The moment you cannot question something, it doesn't come from the truth. Because it's only fear that will force you to believe one lie. You go like, anything else, also religion doesn't allow that. So they always have to sell you some fear-based, some low frequency. So that when you're being, they don't just a low frequency, you cannot get outside of it and see what is happening. So there's always a cult. There's always an authority, either a pastor, elder, or nyankopon that you can't question. Then no more jembra. It's more jembra than no one else, or no contrary, but you can't question. That is a cult. That's how a cult operates.
Yeah, why do you home about my last question here? There is this quote. So what they hate about you is what they are missing in them.
Yeah. Yeah, what they hate about you is what they're missing in them.
Yes. Why?
Oh, say no. Ushia will be. What I say? Ushia will be say ebia we free.
So what they hate about you is mostly missing in them.
Yes. Okay. Ushia will be we free. Where the open as like I say won't funny man. What the name to no say say Ushia wona say we the open put me come we the open answer there onya restricted by any law na. No wa sha say kasa. But when you say kasa na wakasa no, they are only to be because that pattern of life no is missing in them. Yes, it's missing in them. But but missing in them, that reflection and all cultures say so whenever you see them talking now, they are only screaming about their unlived life. An aspect of them that they have not lived.
Okay.
So it will share so more come akwese mfanse bia wo share bia sikani bi ne bia wo de ne sika atoka bi na wo share obi a se bia na ho kire ne kakra na wo ni sika na bia mostly sankofo is talking about obi a de wonye bia o ye bibi no. It's because that life is missing in them. So they go like, I don't have this. I cannot even provide it. I can't even get food for myself. I don't know when you say talk away. So that energy, that reality is missing in them. But they can't accept it. Say, oh, maybe I'm this can't. Oh, they can't. You see, we are taught to attack what we don't understand. People will not understand. But we are not taught to ask why and probe further. We are taught to attack what we don't understand. You know, and it's like home. Because if you don't attack her, you will end up listening, paying attention, and using your wisdom and getting out of it. So let's get them an automatic response. That is to keep you in the system. Because the moment you don't get time to listen, that means you are not open to any knowledge or any consciousness outside that box.
Okay.
And that will keep you in that box. So we are taught to attack what we don't understand.
Wow.
Yeah, that's also programming. We have an automatic response. Like a program, no. It's so powerful, you won't even see it. When you know what can I hear you question?
Yana Ejibos Yako, and I've been in Como. You ever say a follower or be sure of teachings near the own follower?
TikTok name Chibos Yako.
And Chibos Yako, okay.
And YouTube say Chibos, but YouTube me upload the video to us. Yeah, until ABR. Yeah, from this point when they say be a year, and you want to be that day.
You go TikTok and you
find the page.
This is what Busu who say. We'll start taking hands somewhere.
I want for Busamu. I want for them we can do family system. I don't say the family is of the system. What I say. But never make Kenya no. Some family in practice here. True freedom is what they will see. I want to know more pena. I'm a bomb pioneer man. That's what they will experience. But so far there, and I'm not waiting on an attack, and no attack is going to stop me.
I'm about.
I'm Papa.
Okay, remember the boy until or saying, and I will videos.
Oh, one videos in me.
Maybe and some markets I can be a man and easy ground.
Yeah,
or pull me like or pull me.
And we should look into it. Why I didn't talk about pull. Why until mammy wo and that's what your mamma will Fire-Ewiase. On one condition said you're more and see money. That is it.
In free research, you bet 2 money.
The bill, dear can only see a free Christ you. the only say friend Christian ko yan why the catch us on friend Christian ma me ni some question am so ma me so to bofu anya hwe ma bofu anya hwe but ma the only say Christian why the catch us because you go ma me say only so ma me say Yesu o Ebroni. This is the idea they are forcing us into. Ma me say Yesu Ebroni. What they could say ma me say Yesu Ebroni. Ya mo
Jesus for me ya na
Jesus for me, yes, conditioning so ka ho mo so yes, you just say akwana na here the yebo no. That is how weak the programming is. You just say yes no, ono na ye hu movie na ye twa na chi man ya dade no. What I say? But I want to say no because I want to say, once I must tell the narrative that yes buy e be woman, but that isn't it.
Na so for chirabosum. Ono ye so for no ka say yes bia me wu anye ne nkwa.
Yeah, na say onim yes bia be wu anye ne nkwa because sorry o pay bills yes bi nye ho hwe. Na brabo fi the one e wo no bepem sam no. Wo hu say wanye bibia bibi nsi. Oye bibia bibi si. Eti yes no way.
But also be into me just or the free swam and answer.
Na den no wa ya free swam ba. De wa ye nyina no na tutu na mo wo tena se na bia free swam ma. Nti so ne de ade. De free swam ma. O ma ti so o je ma den bu wa bere nti yo kan de o hu wa bere but wo ye o hu say dabi. Ti yesu wo pa nti mi bere say pa nti mi ma nti won na ebre ye bia wa da wo tena se ne sika ni wo.
Bonim say erade ti me kan obi akoma na akwhwe obi ba ama no. Enti erade na aye maame na ebre no
dabi eno nya erade asem eye energy say level mu odo nyansa ni hunumu ene tema ewo bia mu de ege so e mo sanka ewo ni mu ena etirimoden awerehua ewu die ni so wo bia mu enti eye part be na wa align wa hu a wa polish but conditioning no ama de ho tare ye negative aspect no ni a just a positive ni be free Nyankopon ho na ba eni ye mu ti nimdie nyansa ni ye mu ye nhwe Nyankopon ni enu ti na wo kan asem bia na se me kan asem bia o eni pa adwene because ye just nyansa ni hunumu e o ba bi ni na ya de we mu e wasase he a o
so obi kan nyamedwene na obi kan nipa adwene nipa te bia
bia na nyamedwene ti nyamedwene ni ye nyame bia o se free so o se bibi miraculous bi but e we nyina mu ye ti a e wo bia mu but se yan kire se wo mu a then you will start to look it outside because you say before bi na ba that is why people are disconnected. What I say? We are disconnected because ye twen say I say bibi ba besia na kase bia che say jani mahu Nyankopon I say ye twen me bi because you hear movies as na ye hu no bi twen na be so yes it is that conditioning no yes exactly a conditioning to twen movie ni sa a condition say this is a reality what one man twen me bi to say movie no but it doesn't work like that
ti bia unu bi kan say me nyamedwen bet twen so de
nya nim de na Nyankopon nim de na wura ni ba twen say twen kwa so be Ebroni enye so twen bibi ni o unim say ye woni mebu ho no ma ye onyansa ni hunu mebu ho no ma bibi ni ba ye da ka kire ni onyi ni da boni be kan ba je di sagofo nyina say omunim Yesu o sagofo nyina say Yesu bi wo ho Yesu na obae no kre no unim say Yesu na obae no kre no teachings na obae no nya na Bible no unim say Bible ye mo friend Bible no ye woni pa etena ase kire say ye fa ye nkan ye fa ye nyi mfiri unim da
but Tronison Fabin can only be free.
Very good. Some go from a system. Now also to be close it up. No, said about the moment you start thinking,
on call her for
yeah, we can come. Nya trainer, you catch trainer, nya trainer, be special. Training any baby or tennis, said Debbie. Yes, I can say, will you free now? And I say, become one, be able to a fear based control. Tell me, say, why I didn't tell you upon the Bible not throw it. Do obey or die, obey or go to hell. The be fear. Why? Why is God using that?
So those I remember some question generation near one to us was Adam Eve or Mama Pet. No more then na call baby. And I don't know. As a young ass or my dream.
Debbie, I might be here, because look at him say people 2 penny we are saying if it will be called Kowaria or no one acquire or Kowari wine. Because Bible just say people 2 penny we are saying. It is other sources in revelations and now
Bakukum
Bako, Tebeka Bako, Neza.
I man.
And you Ohano Kuno Kowaren. Okohun anado so for bia dan fo so worry you so nipa for bikwa kasa na ye hwan the book is limited who share my clerical so you will see but na make they have to let you know that your intelligence isn't enough as intelligence near DBA yes special be so free baby ba
so
yes but you show them say you should just when they say can intelligence ni nyansa ni hunu mu a sa abrofo na ye ne ma e ma ye hoto ye intelligence na ye adena sa honam famu intelligence ya atum edu so be so spiritual knowledge in there you say before a cage they need to cage you they need to make you feel guilty of using your own divine wisdom On says it here. Tell me say Christopher Obia the nyansa yedma on fi. Obia na brabom na adwuma mu Obia nyansa yedma. E ho no.
Sorry them.
Ho no won honhom bi se ho be kire bi. Ho no nyansa na yedma. O duro so na no say kimi wo say top form.
So no one ba be you know say daddy na miska. Who's answer for what?
What But so for no catch say hey, mun first camera na Yakobon ye be na and dai be maso no ha ba. O yen say na no ye imagine Avram. Enti ase ye de nkoto be si ho ana so mo ne ben Yakobon. O mo ne nim Yakobon. O mo ne represent Yakobon, but Obia represent Yakobon. Obia. It is a me who Obia so represent Yakobon. It's because I've been taught to think that I represent Yakobon. Yes.
I'm saying come on almost chance the see. Ne fa baby ya say nipa mo ben asofo bebre say o ben asofo bebre nipa mo nsori akasiem omo to aba leaders ne sanfo ne say o ben omo pa na wugidie onyame mo kra anhwe betofo because they act contrary to
outside. Yes, and you realize that omo acting outside no omo dey know exactly what they want. When they look at our people that are religious, look at them. Look at them. What do we say the Bible is can say the Christopher Bible na say no. Any question ke nya cripple obi kwa na na bubu kwa wa sorry them. Any question nya obi krasa. That's what the Bible says. Any question ke nya obi krasa. What is it? But then on say ya force o man say when one for one nya adwuma sa kwan no so. Because the moment you start to use one time, you will start to see through the system. And you know, they needed to find a way. The what the Bible naka don't lean on your own understanding. Nipa they say nipa adwene say baba we ase ahoto bia ye nya honam fam no nipa adwene ye temon kan kire me say Christo ni bia wo yusu ahoto bia wo yusu fridge na iron bia to twene nya adwene and no pay divine wisdom be never fa to no because nipa literally nipa na yusu na adwene nipa na tena say say let me try this. I'll try nipa adwene enye wan chemi bia nipa adwene enti wo say nipa e mo hoto fun mo yusu esi mo yusu bia mo hoto no nipa adwene no, and any nipa adwene. But what do I can't say nipa adwene? What are you saying? They say, oh, nipa adwene. That is why we listen to some gospel songs be as it makes sense. And it makes sense. Kramer from baby or to say me and you know crack, be no kramer from ba. Na me bia be home ready and you know crack. That fear based belief near the tonium. Near friend gospel.
Onyo bi anara dey.
Unyo bi as I say. Unyo bi. See, we have this negative beliefs. And I want to say, I am saying Yakobon kan Yakobon kan you. Obi na catch us and Yakobon kan. Obi na say Yakobon kan. Obi na say I said you ha obi say make say o ma me say you don't verify for ma me then you go that be obi na say Yakobon say wo na say Yakobon ka hwe because I want mo brand how ni here because ni Yakobon pa na kan say we no correct.
Thank you very much Junior. You be part 2 definitely
I'll say so many part doors community doors pa
you be brave ya ban cran say sra nkran kakra na njuwo si akon is a brother and almost the church and my brother was a beam na I dey pa na person chair or person kosi sai and na ye di home come kwe ati ya da mase see I can say interviews ni gu ya chi bebre I just say obi twen and in a day be 7 interviews
and ya some to talk
gidi
very busy
ati ya ko ya da mase all right thank you.